Hi, Nadine. Good evening. Hi, Vesta. Just trying to set things up here. So, hi, Sandy. How is everybody tonight? Well, it's tonight here at 6 o'clock. So, hey, Josephine. Hi, Marilyn. How are you? Hi, Gail. Oh my goodness, Gail, I'm so glad that you could catch me live. Yeah, crazy time. I had forgotten that our unit meeting is tonight, and so I haven't been able to catch those all the time, and I really wanted to see what Karen could update us with, so I want to be able to do both. So I changed the time of this one so that I could make our unit meeting. So, okay, so good evening, everybody. Hi, Doris. How are you? Just a few quick announcements. The last chance list did come out for the January to June mini catalog. I will be posting a link for that on the Trippy Card Maker page real soon. Hi, Zena. Hi, Paula. The other thing is, wow, the other day when I updated pictures of the past barn quilts card kits. Wow, I was really blown away that there was so much interest sparked into past kits. So what I am going to do, hi Jane, is I am going to make past kits. If you are only interested in PDF, let me know. But I do want to go ahead and get some of those kits made up. So I am going to be busy. Hi, Demetra. The next week or so, making all these card kits again. I'm really touched that they are still so popular. Hi, Teresa. Hi, Joanne. Really, that's about all I've got. Anything else we can kind of chat about as we're making tonight's project? Hi, Janice. Wow, I'm getting to see some names that we don't always see on Thursday. Well, Thursday morning. This is Thursday, but our regular time usually is Thursday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it's so good to see you here. I am going to flip the camera around and we're going to get started, okay? Just got to get my little setup here. Okay, there's one other thing I gotta do. Okay, just gonna move the computer back a little bit. Or maybe I'll go this way. Okay. All right, I think that looks good. Okay, so as you can see, there's some cards here in front of me, and they are the cards that I did ahead of time to give you some examples of the project tonight. I was inspired by a quilt pattern that was created for placemats, and you know, a lot of those quilt patterns for mug rugs and placemats, they're really super easy layouts, and you can use them in your card making so easy. Did you, Doris? You know what? Doris says that she knew I would be getting this stamp set, and she's so right, because my favorite, oh my goodness, what is it? It retired. In Symmetry. Oh my gosh, I loved In Symmetry. This set here still kind of gives me that boho chic feel. So I couldn't wait to get my hands on this because of these flowers here. It just reminded me of In Symmetry, and that was one of my favorites. So, oh, Sharon, you too. Louise, hello from the UK. I am so honored that you are here. Welcome. Okay, I'm just trying to keep up with some comments here. Okay, well, when you all see this in, tonight, as, when we're making the cards, when you first look at this, you're wondering what the possibilities are. When I started stamping this image right here onto the designer series paper, it gave me so many more ideas. I wasn't, what's the word I'm looking for? I knew that it would be really easy to use the sentiments stamped right here in this, this stamp here that you can use with the coordinating punch. This wasn't going to be difficult for me. But using this stamp right here, I wasn't sure. This one I'm still playing with. I did some things to the inside of one of the cards that I don't know if I'm happy with it, but I'm sure that with more, just more playing around and seeing how other people are using it, this will come into play a lot for me. But I was really, really pleased at how this stamped on to the designer series paper and the feel that it gave the card, without it, that you could see the difference. So that's the set that we're using. And here's the coordinating punch. Gotta have punches. I love my punches. So I did a couple different colorways here. Now tonight I'm going to be using the new In-Colors, and that could be a challenge, especially with this floral stamp. I don't know if it will work on those colors, but we will see. So here, these are the brights. I went into our annual catalog, and I just took the first 5 colors in the bright set and put them together. So let's move. This is from the Subtles collection. So I have this one, and I just wrapped some baker's twine around it. Used the new glossy gems on here. And here, one of our pieces that we cut tonight is going to be for the inside of our cards. So they're very quick and easy cards. You can make a lot of these really fast, and especially if you need a design that can yield you, a lot of cards. And then another thing I liked playing with was the different embellishments. These are the metallic dots here. But again, here I just stamped, and I stamped after I put this together, okay? You just want to make sure that you have a nice flat ridge where your pieces of designer series paper come together. And if you don't, I went in with my Stampin' Right markers and I colored in wherever there was a gap. Easy fix, okay? So there's another one. And I just love this design right here in this stamp set. Here's a different one, just putting a little bling on there. And here, you'll notice I used the Pretty Flowers embossing folder, whereas my other card has the stitched greenery die. And then here was another one where I just did a partial stamp in the corner of that flower. So I really love how all of these turn out, because what you're doing is with your 5 pieces of designer series paper, you're going to use one of each on the front of your card to give it that scrappy look. Now, with the Subtles, again, I went to the catalog and looked at the line, the 10 colors in the Subtles, and took the last 5. And so Here we have that. And we have this one. Let me see if I can, oh, here I tried using that one stamp just up in the corner. I like it. I like the tiles up there in the corner. The other one I did, I'm not really so happy with, but you know, that's just me being picky. So here's another one. Here, what I wanted to show you is if you don't have any ribbon or twine that will go with what you picked out, what I did is the strip that we're going to use on the inside, I cut 1/8 of an inch of that strip off, and I just put it down as if that's where my ribbon or my twine would go. I just put that on in its place to give the illusion that there's a piece of ribbon or something extra underneath, okay? And here's, I didn't like how that turned out. I like how my ink was uneven after I stamped off. I like that, but it still needs to be played with. Here's another one, really simple. And then the last one. Oh, here's the one. I'm kind of okay with putting just a little bit at the top and the bottom in adjacent corners there, so. And for my card bases, I just took the 5 colors that I was using and pulled that cardstock. So those are some examples of the design that we're going to do tonight. So I do have a stack here. Here's the brights from the other end. I want to make some cards with that. This is the subtles on the beginning end of the spectrum. And then I thought it would be a really good design to use with the neutrals, because then you could play around with masculine cards as well. So I'm anxious to create some cards that I can have on hand that are more masculine. So just to give you an idea of some different colorways, I have a surprise for you. When this live is over, I have a PDF that I'm going to put up for tonight. I don't always have time to do PDFs for the live, but I did this week, and so I will be uploading that into the files section in the group Quilt Cards and More. So you'll need to request to join that group in order to find the PDF. But you can find a link to that group under the group tabs on this page, okay? So this is our template. We have a 4 by 6 inch piece of designer series paper. Now we're going to do 5 of them. And you can cut more than one at a time as long as your blade is sharp and you don't put too many pieces in your trimmer. Know what your trimmer's limit is so that you get nice, clean cuts, okay? If you do them one at a time, that's fine. But it's a 4 by 6 piece of designer series paper, and we're going to cut a couple of these together so that you can see how I did it, okay? So let me bring in my trimmer. And I hope I can get all of this in. I might have to push this back just a little. I'm really used to working at the bottom of my trimmer. I'm going to try and work at the top. Okay, so I've already cut 3 out of my 5 pieces of paper, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that template back in so that I can lay my pieces down as I cut them so that I'm not missing any pieces. Oops, I knew I was missing a color there. I try to be so organized so that you don't have to wait and watch me do all this, but I needed the template to show you. Okay, so I'm just going to put all of those back. And then what I'm going to show you is we're going to cut these two pieces together. So I have 4 by 6. I am going to turn it into landscape mode, where what that means is my 6-inch is going to be at the top, okay? And our cut is going to be at 3 1/4 inches. So I'm lining up the left side of my paper at 3 1/4 inches on my ruler up here on the trimmer. Now, I'm going to set this one aside for just a moment. We're going to take this side of what we cut. This is the 3 1/4 inches. And we are going to turn that counterclockwise 1 1/4 of a turn, so that now our 4 inches is at the top, okay? And we want to take our first cut at 1 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so 1 3/4. Now I'm going to take these out and I'm going to stack them over here with the other, with its little friends that are hanging out. And then with what's left, I am going to put it back in and I'm going to cut a 1-inch piece. Let these guys go and hang out with their friends over here, and that should leave you with a 1 1/4 inch strip. Okay, I'm just going to test my cutting skills here. Okay, so I put them over here with their friends. Now we're going to bring back in that piece that we set aside, and we need 2 that are 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to work on this side of my trimmer, the ruler that's on the right side. Just easier for me to see. I'm going to line that up at 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to do that one more time, making sure that my papers are all nice and straight. 3/4 of an inch. It gets a little harder to hold on to them the smaller it gets, but that should stay there. 3/4 of an inch, leaving me with a piece that's 1 1/4 inches. And I'm going to test that over here on my grid paper. Good job, Julie. So there we have our cutting. That's what you're going to do to all 5 sheets of your designer series paper. So one of these piles that are 3/4 of an inch, those are going to go on the inside of your card. So you can just set those aside for now, because we're not going to do anything with those. Now what I like to do, so that these are kind of like already one of every color, I have one of every color showing that I'm using. I'm going to leave this pile alone. I'm going to work counterclockwise. So I'm going to leave this pile alone. This one here, I'm just going to move this color to the back. So now I have 2 different colors showing. This one, I'm going to go 1 and I'm going to go 2 so that I have another color. This one, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. And this one, we're going to go 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now my card has one of each color already showing on top for me. Okay? Hi, Barbara. Hi, Pat. And Teresa. Hi, Marilyn. Oh, let me get caught up on who's all here. Hi, Lori. Hi, Peggy. Susan. Pat. Amanda. Me too, Amanda. I like it too. Okay, so hopefully I'm all caught up. So let's just move those out of the way. We've got our stacks here. Now, with the 6x6 designer series papers, the colors, you only get 4 sheets of each pattern. They're double-sided though, so you will repeat one of your papers in there, but it's okay. If you don't want 2 of the same thing next to each other, it's double-sided. You can go through and you can change this up any way you want. But what I like about doing this is that I see every one of the colors right on top. If I make changes, that's not a big deal, but at least they're on top. So let's bring in our silicone mat. Because we're going to cover up the base that this pattern is going to be adhered to, don't use your really good cardstock. Like your favorite cardstock, don't use it. I would choose a color that's kind of within the colors that you're using for your paper, your designer series paper. This is blueberry, blueberry something. Was it Blueberry Bliss or something? Anyway, it's retired, so I pulled that out. And I've got my bases here that I am going to glue these pieces down. Now, when you're adhering the pieces, I'm going to work from the right side first, which in the diagram, okay, don't worry about this first set here because that's for the inside of my card. What I'm going to do is I'm going to glue these 2 pieces down first. And the reason why I am working this way is that I will have a really nice straight edge that these pieces can butt up to. Sometimes you'll notice that your cutting was just a little off. You don't want to find that over here and then this strip here isn't flush because something's off here. It's better to have a nice straight line to work with. And then if this piece here was cut a little longer than what it was supposed to be, you can flip this base over and trim off anything that is hanging off the edge. But we want something really nice and straight that all of these can butt up to. So I'm going to do these 2 strips first. So I'm just going to take what was on top over here. Come on, glue. You're practically brand new. I'm just going to put some glue on the back. And I'm going to put this in the corner. I'm going to move this down closer to me. And you just want to make sure that you're in that corner nice and straight. You can kind of turn it over, make sure that you're straight. Just put that down. And then I am going to come over to the next piece and put this one down. Now, if you didn't like a pattern on one side, look, you've got a double-sided sheet of designer series paper. So you have choices. And then I am going to butt this right up to that first piece. Make sure you have a nice flush seam. This is important, especially if you have any intentions of stamping on your card front before you do any embossing. You want a nice smooth surface there. So now we're going to take our other pieces. Just want these closer to me. And I'm not going to glue all of these together before we move on. We're just going to do one, and then you'll get the gist of what you're supposed to do with the other pieces that you have left. So this, I'm going to butt that right up there, get it in the corner. Move your paper around if you need to, so that you can see what you're doing. That's nice and flat right there. Now, I don't mind having two patterns that are the same next to each other. In this case, I don't. Sometimes it depends on the pattern. Sometimes maybe I don't like, you know, like these, those straight lines. I mean, I like that, but sometimes I tell myself, Julie, just quit fussing about it and put it down the way it is, because you're going to put a sentiment on here. You're going to add, you know, embellishments. You can break that up. And then our last piece will go here. And if you can see over here, I've got my colors popped up, ready to go. You'll kind of feel these like pop in place where they're supposed to. And there we have our card front. You're going to do 5 of these, okay? Very scrappy look. Sharon, what do you want me to go back over? The cutting dimensions? Okay, it will be in the PDF that I will post after the live. But if you're looking at your 4x6, the first thing we did is we cut this at, this cut right here was 3 1/4 inches. And then we moved on from those pieces and cut our other ones. So I think it'll be easier to see the PDF, or I will leave this right here if you want to screenshot it with your phone, and then you'll have a picture right beside you. So I'm going to leave this here for just a second in case anybody wants to take a screenshot of their screen, and then you'll have a photo right beside you. Hey Jean, thank you. Okay. So you will have 5 of these. We're going to work with this one, and I can go back in and I can put the rest of these together. It really goes fast, so that won't take too long later tonight for give me something to do. So here we have our, this has become our card front. Now, I really don't see this image working well with the way these colors are. I thought this worked really well on the brights and the subtles, but I don't know. I think what I'm going to just show you is how to make the card, and then just know that, you know, I want to encourage you that if you have any bold stamps that you could tuck into a corner, then play with that. Play with stamping on top of a pattern that's already underneath you. You can be really pleasantly surprised by the look, okay? Thank you for sharing, Doris. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so let me get my thoughts together here as to what I'm going to do next. Why don't we go ahead and let's pick out a card base. Now, what I did was, you know, if you cut one card base, if you're scoring first, you always end up with 2 pieces. And sometimes I don't know if I want it, my card this way, or do I want it in portrait. And for me, if I am going to have a card in landscape mode, I'm not a real fan of this kind of landscape. That's just, I mean, that's just me being picky. But I think the place that comes from is I've made cards before, and when I try to stand them up like this, they want to splay out. So, and I never know what card it is that's going to do that. So, the way I like to do a landscape card is I like to cut, this is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. And this will look familiar to you if you've ever gotten a barn quilt card kit, because I have one of these in there, and my whole thought process is they stand a lot better this way. I don't have them splaying out. I just think it sits better, so it's just totally a Julie being picky kind of thing. But that's the quirk you get with me, okay? So if I'm going to do this, let's say we're just going to do it as is. Looking at my card base, what I have been doing is I've been choosing a color that is in the middle, so that you basically can see this border around it. It's not blending in too much. Yes, it's going to blend in, but this is a smaller place that it's going to blend than, you know, if it was this large piece here. So, do I want Starry Night or Starry Sky, or do I want Parakeet Party? Decisions. That really, I mean, this one really gets your attention. What do you think? Being picky is okay. Oh, goodness. You know what? I think I'm going to go with Starry Sky. So I'll set everything else aside. I'm going to bring in a insert to my card, and let's glue one of our strips. And you can just pick one out and then glue it to whatever side that you want. It is humid here. We've had nothing but rain like all day long, and it's sticky and humid. Okay, so there's our insert. We could just go ahead and put that. Oh boy, that really blends, doesn't it? That blends right in with that. Maybe I should have done the Parakeet Party. Let me just put that one to a side. That'll get used in one of the other cards. I want this to pop against my card base. Okay, now we'll just glue this to the inside. Okay, I'm going to try and not get wonky here. Okay, so there's the inside of our card. Now we can go back to the front, Now, I already stamped some of the sentiments. I have happy birthday and thank you I did from this stamp set. And you'll notice you can embellish with these, they have different little stamps that you can put in there. That's another happy birthday, happy birthday. The oh hello, I like this. I really like that right there. It reminds me of it. Do you see an owl? Do you see an owl? Like that's his beak right there, and these are his eyes. And then like if a great horned owl, it has those swooping feathers. I can't help it. I got birds on the brain. I just thought it looked like an owl. So I'm going to play with a sentiment, figure out where I want that. Because once I know where I want to place my sentiment, then I can figure out where I'm going to put my ribbon or twine. And really, you don't have to do any of that. I'm really not sure how this is going to work with these colors. The only kind of ribbon that I have that I thought I could play with, this is the white glitter ribbon, but the pinks in there, I don't know if you can see that, but the pink little glitter flecks almost take on the sweet sorbet. And then when the light catches that right, I see Tahitian Tide and Parakeet Party in the glitter. So I thought, oh, let's play with that and see if we can make it work. I don't know if I'm going to like it, but we can play. So where would I want my ribbon going? Down this way? Do I want it to come across here? Oh, look at how it's picking up the Tahitian Tide. That's pretty cool. Just depends on where I want it to fall. I think I'll just do it across here. Now, I don't know about having a bow. I think for me, especially with this wide of ribbon, I think it'll be too big. So I think I'm just gonna let this have its glitter effect, and then we'll pop this up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna glue this. Not glue, I'm just gonna use Scotch tape. Just gonna figure out where I want it. Wow, if I tip it up like this, I see Sweet Sorbet. If I tip it like that, I see Tahitian Tide. And then I see this picking up Parakeet Party over here. That's pretty cool. Okay, so I'm going to have it just splitting these two here. So, whoops. I'm just going to bring in some Scotch tape to hold it. And line that up. Oh, can you see how glittery and pretty that is? Let's put that right there. And then just make sure it's pretty straight. I'm going to fuss with this just a second. And now we'll just press that down, cut off the extra. If I want to try and play with a bow, I can always add that. Oh, wait a minute. You know what I wanted to do? Oh, my machine is buried. Before I add the ribbon, if you wanted to run this through an embossing folder, like one of the cards that I showed you as an example, do that before you add your ribbon. Okay, so do any embossing, or if you want to use the stitch greenery, do that before you add your ribbon. My machine is buried because I had this urge to start like rearranging things in my craft room, and that table has become my catch-all. I'm so sorry, but here's just an example of what you can do, or use any embossing folder that is your favorite. So for this one here, we're just going to keep it plain. But I'll tell you, using an embossing folder really gives it that quilted fabric. It turns paper into looking like it's a lofty piece of fabric with batting behind it. It's awesome. So, I think I'm gonna put my oh hello right there. So let's go ahead and let's glue this to the front of our card. Oh, I cannot believe how humid it is up here in my craft room right now. We even have the air conditioning on. Okay. Let's put this on. So this is just your flat look with just the paper. Can you see how this, compare the two? Without embossing, with embossing, it just gives your paper that fabric feel. So normally I would emboss this, and I would probably, my favorite embossing folder is the Pretty Flowers. So I'd probably do that on that. But I would do a couple with an embossing folder, and I would do some with my Stitch Greenery die just to see what different look or what different feel that it gives me, okay? So what I'm going to do is I want to put a border around my punched sentiment. So what I did was I punched out one of these labels from each of the 5 colors. Now what I like to do is whatever color I've used on the inside, I like to pull that behind my sentiment. So we'll go with the Parakeet Party. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this in half. And I'm going to extend my label by cutting it in half like this. On the back of my sentiment, I'm just going to put some glue right up here at the top. I'm going to take 1/2. I'm going to lay it behind it. And I just want a nice, even, it's almost like a shadow behind my sentiment. Like that. And then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side and take the other half that we cut in half. And we're just going to even it out. I like to make sure that my sides are even. And here I've made it a little bit bigger by putting a background behind it. But it will help set this, it'll help, boy, I am just at a loss for words tonight. I feel like, oh. Okay, so now I'll have a pop of color here with this Sweet Sorbet and my blues here. And I'm gonna pop this up with dimensionals. Sorry for my reaching in. I thought I had these already out. Man, I go through some dimensionals. I love them. If you had any bulk what I want to do is I'm going to keep my dimensionals up here at the top and the bottom and let my ribbon run through the middle. I probably use too many dimensionals, but I like them. Okay, and then let's take that off. I think I got them all. I'm going to bring this down to me so I can see what I'm doing. So there's my oh hello. And then, you know what I want to do? I want to try something here. I'm just going to make a bow and see if I like it. This is just kind of, I don't know, I'm just wondering if it's not going to be too bulky. I can do it like that, or I could tie it under. You know what? I don't think that looks too bulky. Do you? I think we're going to go with it. And I like that this is going in two different directions. We just don't want it hanging too much past our card because we don't want it to get all smushed up in the envelope. I think that'll work. Ooh, I'm glad I tried that. Where's my pop dot? My mini glue dots. And then I'm going to use the In-Color, what are these called? The In-Color matte decorative dots. So let's just put that like right about there. Fluff it up a little bit. Oh, that's pretty. Okay, now we just need to decide on our dots. I'm thinking about going with Parakeet Party, and just that way that will tie in how I'm using the Parakeet Party on the front. And you'll notice that there's an ombre. These are all done in an ombre. They give you the choices as it goes dark and then just gets lighter, which is really, really, really nice. So let's just decide how I want to do. I want to do a triangle. Let's just put one here. One over here. And let's put one up there. Just for some splash of color. So there is one out of the, 5 cards I would get with this layout. So I'm hoping this grows on me. I'm wondering if I shouldn't have done Starry Sky with my dots, but you know what? They're on there. It's fun. It's cheerful. Whoever opens it up, these colors cannot help but put you in a good mood, don't you think? So I think it's a very cheerful, oh, hello. And it would have a totally different feel had I run this through the embossing folder. Hi, Robin. How are you? Thank you for watching. Pat says, I'm so far behind on quilt cards. It happens, Pat. It happens. So I'm excited to see what cards you'll put together and what spin you will put on your cards. Again, let's bring in this one. Let's bring in one where I actually stamped on the Designer Series paper before running it through my stitched greenery die. And then let's get one of the pinks that was done with the Pretty Flowers embossing folder. So you can see how embossing does change the feel that your quilt card gives you. This here reminds me of the quilt that I just got back from the long arm artist, and it hasn't been washed yet. But then you wash it and you get the puckers that make you feel really nice and comfy. Okay, that's how I look at it. So there's just some different plays with this 4x6 one sheet wonder. And as soon as we're done, I will upload the PDF in the Quilt Cards and More group. Since, oh, I'm doing good, Robin. I hope you're doing good too. So yeah, what color did you use to stamp? Oh, Pat, good question. These here, what I used this is gray granite, and the grays work so nice. They're not real, it's not like using black and it's just like screaming at you that it's black. It is a nice neutral. The grays are beautiful to use if you want a neutral color. This would look good also in soft suede, maybe even crumb cake. So look at your neutral colors. This one here though, this is basic gray. So it's a little deeper, but it's not that black that I think just wouldn't, it would look like it's, I don't know. It just wouldn't look like it blends very well with these colors. It would certainly pop, but I didn't want black. So basic gray, gray granite. If you're looking to use browns, look at soft suede, early espresso, crumb cake. Would be a good a second choice for the neutrals. I almost, when I was working with the subtles, I almost went with soft succulent even. I thought could blend well with the subtles, but you know, I wish I had time to try all of my ideas that go through my head. I'm lucky that I get through the week. So I was, you know what, I'm really proud of myself that I was able, that I had the time, I made the time to get a PDF to go along with this live. So yay for small victories, right? So I will post that. That way you can just print it off and put it with directions of other cards that you like to do. But this is just a really simple design that will allow you to make a lot of cards really quick. Okay, are there any other questions? I'm just going to scroll real quick. Again, I will put a link up on the Chirpy Card Maker page of the Last Chance sale. Now, you cannot order until June 1st on the Last Chance sale for the mini catalog, but you'll be able to see what items are your last chance and if there's a discount on them or not. There was a lot of things I saw on the list that were 50% off. So you're going to want to check that list out, and then on June 1st, you can, you want to get your order in because it's while supplies last. Okay? So that's it for tonight, everybody. I hope that you have a really good rest of your day. Have a blessed rest of your day. And starting next week, we'll be going back to 11:30 in the morning, Eastern Standard Time, for Thursday's lives, okay? Alrighty, well, if that... Oh, and Tuesday, the 31st, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, we'll be putting the May Block of the Month card kit together. And I will be revealing what June's card kit is going to be. Okay? So I will see you Sunday or Julie, slow down. I will see you Tuesday, and if not Tuesday, I'll see you on Thursday. Thanks for hanging out with me, everybody.